Hey, what's up everyone? It's Roy with SpecFreq dev video number 8. In this video, I have a couple cool things to talk about. First off, notice the frame rate, 120 frames per second, and that's with OBS recording. That is a lot better than the 30 that I was getting before. So I'll talk about how I got there. It's not going to be anything fancy, so don't get too excited. And I'll talk about that. I'll talk about some new features, a little bit about how I test the game as well. So I think this will be a pretty good episode. Before I get started, a little plug for the SpecFreq Discord. I have some awesome testers on there. They've been giving me great feedback. They've been finding bugs for me that I've been fixing all along the way. I've had a couple players join. Every time they do, I throw a key their way. They play the game. Really want people to try it out and let me know what they think, as well as find bugs that I can fix. So join me on there. I'll have a link in the description. Looking forward to seeing you. So let's jump in. First and foremost, we got to talk about this. 120 frames per second. It's awesome. How did I do it? It wasn't any fancy magic coding. There were a lot of great deals on New Year's Eve on new laptops, and I haven't gotten a new laptop in several years. So here we are. New laptop, Intel i7 2.6 gigahertz. I upgraded to 64 megs of RAM. It came with 8. It has an RTX 4050 video card on it, a terabyte SSD. I mean, it's pretty sweet gig. And so that's how I'm pulling up these frame rates. Right now I have VSync on. If you remember, VSync is what keeps the physics and the display layer coordinated. So that way you don't have the display running faster or the physics running faster on the display. Like it all stays in sync, right? Which is what you want. When I turned VSync off, on my old laptop, it was getting, I think, like 120 to 160 frames per second. This one gets 1200 to 1300 frames a second. It's a pretty awesome upgrade. So I'm pretty excited about it. The other bonus on talk about test here is that this is Windows 11 with some pretty juicy hardware on it. So that's Dangerous. That's the player I'm logged in as. DZ is now my old laptop that you can't see sitting to my left. This is now Windows 10, so now I can test in Windows 11 and Windows 10. And you've probably noticed these in some of the other dev videos. DZ Linux and DZ Mac. So DZ Linux is a 2012, I think, MacBook Pro that I've installed Ubuntu on, just because I don't like throwing out old hardware. I mean, it still works, right? And so this one has Ubuntu on it. It has Steam on there. It lets me test the game in Linux to make sure that it launches and does all that. Runs pretty slow. I'm looking at it now. It's getting like 7 frames per second. From 2012, I can't expect too much out of it. Also, like installing Linux on a MacBook Pro isn't always the most performant, but it works, and it works for my testing. DZ Mac is a 2019 MacBook Air that actually my sister was no longer using, and so I grabbed it so I can deploy the game onto that and see how it works on there. Again, I'm looking at it now, and it's getting 9 frames per second, so it's not exactly made for gaming, but it lets me test to make sure that the game deploys to these platforms. So, pretty excited about that upgrade. Some new features. I'm going to jump right into the features now. So I mentioned this DZ character is on another laptop. I'm going to move him around. One of the things that I added is the ability to spectate. So this was a feature in the old infantry that I liked. If you right click on his name and click spectate, let's say you jump in the game, you just kind of want to chat down here with other players, or you just kind of follow while you're eating a bite of food or something. So spectate will actually just follow whatever player you've selected. So I'm moving the player around here. The map's going to follow this player. If they jump in a car, it'll follow them. I am going to make it so that way you can't spectate like the top 3 or the top 4 players, mainly because I don't want people to start following them and making it so they're passing notes down to folks that are in the game and telling them where those players are. So this is spectate, kind of a new feature, works pretty cool. The one thing you're not seeing is I'm actually not playing with the keyboard and mouse with DZ. And so a little bit ago, my wife got me one of those like backbone devices that connect to your phone and let you play. And I should probably mention none of these videos are sponsored, so no one sponsored me to say backbone. It's just a cool little device. But it lets you play games on your phone, right? It's just a little controller that attaches to your phone. And so naturally, I connected it to Steam Link, and I want to see what SpecFreq was like on my phone, and it ran all right for being connected to my laptop. But I immediately realized that I don't have controller support. And so I added controller support to the game, and I still got to work on the bindings for some of the keys. I mean, it works pretty well. You can shoot, you can be in the game, you can move around, you can strafe and turn and all that. I also attached my Xbox controller to my old laptop as well, and I got that working, which is actually what I'm using right now. And so controller support's pretty cool. I definitely want to make sure that stays added to the game and kind of get that going, and also give the players the ability to remap the keys. So that's the spectate mode, that's controller support. Let's jump in and show probably the biggest update to the game, which is the dropship. So before we played the game, if you remember, you dropped in on kind of this center area of the map, right? And I think one of the teams dropped in here, the other one dropped in right around here, and then you kind of ran around and did your thing. Now when you drop in, you're gonna jump into this thing called the dropship here. In a dropship, you have a couple teleporters. There's 6 in this one, and if you jump on a teleporter, notice this one says it's gonna take you to Center City. Let's go check this one out. This is the arena. I'll talk about that, but that's this area right here. Center City was right here. This one I think is disabled. Yep, that one's disabled right now. This is Northland, which is going to drop you right around here. This one's disabled. And the bottom one here is... Oh, wait, where is this one at? I don't know why it doesn't show me the label. Well, oh, there it goes, Westwoods. So Westwoods is right around here. Um, That might have been the bug, and I don't think it would be a dev video if I didn't encounter a bug. You're actually going to see a bug here in a little bit. If you remember the DZ character, his uniform was, I think it was blue earlier. Just wait till you see what it is when we check him out later. So here we are in the game. Let's say you want to jump to this area. Notice it says you must gear up first. Look at my inventory. There's nothing on there. If you also remember, man, look at that bug. That's not supposed to be. That's supposed to be over there. That's fun. Um, if you also remember before, when you load the game, you pick what class you are, right? So now to do that, you go to these little terminals here. Notice there's a lot of them up here, right? I'm gonna go to them, right click. Now here's where I pick my class. This is pretty familiar to you from before. Let's say I pick engineer. And now notice there's a store. So before everything came loaded out, that was mainly because I hadn't gotten to that point yet. Now there's an actual store on the back end. So you as a player start off at 50 points. You click your build. You get a whole list of weapons. Right now, most items or most slots only have one type of weapon, but some, like the engineer slot, heavy build, has a whole bunch. And if I buy these, it's going to take points away. But I'm actually going to switch to an infantry class. I forgot I added this button up here. I could have just done that. It's all good. Switch to heavy, and I'm going to buy my gun. Notice it takes my points away. Let's buy that RPG because that's helpful to have. And let's buy these sandbags. So you might be asking yourself, how do I get points? Well, that's not too hard. One, you got to capture the flag. That'll give you points. When you frag other players, that'll give you points. When you destroy machinery, that'll give you points. There's going to be a couple different things in the game that actually give you points. And then what I'm working on is the potential ability to store those points long term. So there is a bank behind the scenes that's maintaining how many points each player has. But let's say you finish a game and you have 1,000 points. So you fragged another player, and that player happened to have a bounty of 1,000. So let's say out of that 1,000, 500 points come to you, and you want to quit, and you have 600 points on your own. I'm thinking about giving the players the ability to store the points long term, and maybe use like those points to build vehicles or whatever it is in the game. I want to try and avoid having it be unbalanced where new players can't even play because they're playing against people with like 40,000 points. So I'm going to see what I'm going to do with that, but I don't want you to have to lose out on all the points, so I'll see how that works out. So I'm going to hit done. Notice my inventory is unlocked. I'm going to drop them to the arena first, because this is the new area. So teleport, you simply walk on a teleporter, check out the little animation of it going up and down. Here's a little dialogue. And now I'm in the arena. This is a new area. This is all the way down here. I haven't even updated the map graphic yet. Notice in this area, so one thing I didn't show before is that you're probably wondering, like, hey, if you have all these players going into a dropship, aren't they going to shoot at each other? And you notice it's been saying no fire area this entire time. That's because it's in a safe zone. It's a bit more obvious in here. This is the spawn area. I'm clicking the mouse. It's not letting me shoot. If I jump outside and shoot, notice no bullets can go inside. That's because I want to try and have people avoid, I want to avoid spawn camping. And so this entire box is a no spawn area, or is a no fire area, which if you're going to spawn camp, you're going to have a hard time covering that whole area, right? And so the players can spawn into here. You do have terminals down here, but the difference between these terminals and the other terminals are that these only let you change your inventory. You can't change your class type. If you want to change your class type, you have to go up to back to the dropship. That's where you can change your class type, kind of reset your inventory kind of thing. And so this is going to be kind of a player 1v1 area. This whole part here is walled off. So you won't be able to bring vehicles. Actually, you'll probably be able to bring vehicles in here. Here's the wall. There are parts of the wall that are broken. So I'm going to see if I can... I should have gotten a vehicle. I'm going to go back to the center city area while we talk. Because it'll be a lot easier to talk or move around when I have the vehicle. Alright. I think the other player is actually in the Center City area also. I think this one is Center City. Yeah, teleporting to Center City. Clicking. There you go. Oh, hey, there's that guy. Hey, buddy. Get some sweet points. Shoot him. I'm gonna take a map or take a vehicle here, which is why I came all the way up here. Man, I am loving how smooth this run. This is so much better than what it was before. And let's go through here. Notice I did make some map updates, right? This area was pretty blank before, and it's still a little bit blank. But I added these paths. I added some trees, but this area is gonna be a little different when it comes to trees. Yep, see, now we're getting some different tree types. I thought I added more. This just makes me feel like I should probably... No, trees on the ground. The shadow just looked weird to me. I'm driving down to the arena area. So I'm just looking at all, like when I add stuff down to the map, it feels like I'm really cluttering things up. And then I jump in the game and I realize that things are so far apart from each other. All right, back down to the arena. All right, that's the edge of the arena. So I'm gonna go all the way over here. So there's this part right here. Here's a wall that's broken. So players can get in through this part. I think they can get in through this part. Yeah, players can get in, no problem. It's gonna be hard for you to really shoot at this part, mainly because there's so many things in the way. So you have to be in to really shoot people. And then there's this right here. You could probably fit a car through this one. Yeah, you can. Okay, cool. There's another entrance right over here for the road. That's gonna stay open, right? I'm gonna get all the way over here. I still have to add parts of this section of the map, which is why there's not much there. And then I think I put a broken wall down here as well. Yep, there it is. But I do want to avoid people shooting through, which is why I put this barricade. So what's the point of this arena area? This whole spot down here, I'm going to put a whole bunch of obstacles, just this area right here. So that way players can kind of do like 1v1 or 4v4 squad matches kind of thing. And it'll be a little more competitive. Think like if you go to play paintball with your buddies, how like it's set up for you to play paintball, right? That's what's going to be down here. The other thing I wanted to make sure of, notice the text on the ground, is that only players can get in here. So these concrete barriers, they're too big for any car to get in. I bet you could probably fit this side by side, so I probably need to make these a little bit closer to each other to make it so they can't get there. So this is the new area of the map. Again, still building this out, and then in the safe zone, you can obviously drive a vehicle in here. You just can't really do any damage. Top up on my... Was this guy not give me anything? That's rude. I must not set this box up to give players any stuff. So yeah, so that's the new arena area in the game. So we talked about dropships. We talked about the store and the new inventory setup that's uploaded now on Steam, so playtesters can play it. We talked about, let's see, Xbox controller support, the safe area. I think that those are really the main updates for the game. We're continuously getting closer and closer to having more of an open playtest right now. We're still on closed playtest. But again, if you jump on that Discord and you join me on there, I'm happy to get you playing the game. Let me see if I can get this guy to join me in here. Do I have it where... No, because we're different teams. Oh, I'm gonna try something before I quickly leave the game. Oh, by the way, here's that bug, right? Remember his outfit was blue? Even his little, like, I'm behind something is blue. But nope, not... That's a bug. Love it. I just want to see how smooth it's going to be if I drive. Oh, just hang out. Oh, no, that's not at all what I wanted to do. Team Wolverines. Yeah, okay, cool. Now enter the fight. And now go down here. Oh, he's blue. I bet 20 bucks that he's going to be blue. He's blue. Look at that. Good for him. So if I put him here. Okay. Oh, hi. Yeah, that looks weird. I just want to see how smooth it's going to be. So I need to linear interpolate. Yeah. So when I get updates for the player or for vehicles or whatever, in most areas I linear interpolate, which means don't just move the player from 0, 0 to 1, 1. Slowly move them, like go from 0, 0 to 0.5 to 1 to 1, whatever. I don't think I'm doing it for the vehicles, and since I was in the middle of this video, I figured I might as well spectate and do it on my own. But notice, like, oh, I'm not the driver. Yeah, he's still the driver. So, anyway, oh, hi, that's fun. That was really cool. Wasn't supposed to do that. Again, it would not be a SpecFreq dev video if you didn't encounter bugs. So, that's it for me. I appreciate you all listening. Look for another dev video in the next 2 weeks as I keep working through the store, I keep working through some of these bugs, and I finally get closer to an actual game release. All right, everyone. Catch you later. Bye.